Okay, and thank you very much, Mr. Echo. And now we are going to enter our first session. The first session will be delivered by Dr. Sigit from the Indonesian Embassy in Seoul. Dr. Sigit is a diplomat and he has received his PhD in Politics and International Relations from the University of Auckland in New Zealand. And I think more people will come later after the lunch. I just got information because many of the Indonesian students in Korea still have their classes this morning, so they will join us later in the afternoon. For that, I will invite Dr. Sigit to come to the stage. Thank you.
Okay, good morning, 안녕하세요. First of all, I would like to say thank you very much for inviting me to join this interesting event. And I would apologize because my ambassador cannot come because he's in Indonesia at the moment. And for me, attending event like this in the universities is something enjoyable for me, something good, because I just finished my study actually 2 months ago. So I just graduated from my university in Auckland Uni 2 months ago. I feel sad because I have to leave my university, come back to my job in the ministry. But anyway, so today I'm so happy to come to Busan, and Busan Foreign Studies, Busan University for Foreign Studies is not something new for us, because why? Many of our colleagues in our embassy, they also graduated from this university, and they work well, especially those Korean who study Indonesian language. Even one of them become our interpreter for our ambassador. So it was great, and hopefully Busan University for Foreign Studies will create more students, especially students who study about Indonesia, and of course this graduates for sure in future can help to bring cooperation and collaboration between the countries. And today, actually, I don't want to present here, but I would like to discuss. And I have some slides here. So in today's presentation, I would like to talk about toward 50 years of Korea-Indonesia relationship, political and economic prospects and challenges. And by the way, I need to introduce myself actually. My name is Sigit Aris Prasetyo. At the moment, I'm serving as a political consultant in Indonesian Embassy in Seoul. I just newcomers in Seoul because I just came here 10 months ago. But anyhow, I have a funny story because my first posting was in USA, in California, and our consulate general in the middle of the Korean town. So I stayed there for 3 years. So, well, now I'm living in the real Korea now because I'm living in Seoul. Right. So today I will talk about relationship between Indonesia and Korea. That so far the two countries has achieved the highest relation at the moment. As we know that we look at the history of the relationship of the two countries. So Indonesia and Korea opened its diplomatic relationship in 1973. And then we have a great achievement in 2017 when the two leaders of Indonesia and Korea agreed to bring the high level of relationship into special strategic partnership. And then with that milestone, our relationship is keep growing until now. And at the moment, Korea is the largest trading partner in 2021, amounting 18 billion. Still low because I think there's many potential that we can work on. And like this year, our trading with Korea and Indonesia to January, September already achieved 19 billion. It's quite higher compared to last year. We're still hoping that between October, November, December, they will increase the number. And then Korea is also the second largest investment realization in 2021. And when I checked the data this year, so first semester, it reached almost 9 million US dollars. So we're hoping that the Korean investment in Indonesia this year can be higher than last year. So, and then I would like to talk about a little bit about special strategic partnership. Based on this special strategic partnership, there are at least political security pillars, economy, and people-to-people contact. I think we are lucky to have this special strategic partnership because Indonesia is the only country in Southeast Asia who have that level, that cooperation, that special strategic partnership. If I'm not mistaken, I think Korea only have with India, UAE, and Uzbekistan, I guess. So we are the good shape now by having this special strategic partnership. So political and security, we agreed to develop bilateral consultation mechanism, support each other in regional and multilateral forum, defense industry that I will discuss later on, and cooperation in the field of law, maritime security, and economy. Of course, we agreed to develop cooperation in industry, transportation, infrastructure, investment, and trade, and people-to-people contact, cultural exchange, tourism, education, and protection of migrant workers in South Korea. So in political cooperation, I think I would say that the current political cooperation between Indonesia and Korea is the highest level now. But we are hoping that we will have a higher again in future. So I would say several points that I would like why Indonesia and Korea has a very good level at the moment. Indonesia and South Korea has no historical issues. This is fact. Two countries have similarities in values, principles, democracy, open economy, respect for human rights. I have a discussion with this, and even I never thought about that. Whatever we do with Korea, there's no resistance in our home country. It's quite different. For example, if we develop, more focus on relationship with China, maybe we have several resistance in our country. And when we do at the United States, maybe we have also resistance with in our grassroots. But again, if we do whatever we do with Korea, there's no resistance at all. Even we support, even in grassroots, they will support whatever the government do to develop cooperation between Indonesia and South Korea. And then we have a good relation in the level of government. On July, our President Joko Widodo visit in Korea and meeting with President Yoon Suk Yeol. And Parliament also, we have a good relationship. Last time, our Speaker, Ibu Puan Maharani, also visit and meeting with the Speaker of Parliament of South Korea. And at that time, Ibu Puan also received honorary consul from Pukyong. Is there any? I have at least that there's a expert from Pukyong University.
Yes.
Right, in the afternoon. Right. And then as middle power, we support each other. I mean, Indonesia and South Korea support each other in several forums. For example, of course, UN 220. Few weeks ago, President Yoon Suk Yeol visited Bali And I read the report that the meeting was very good with the president, also with the business, Korean business in Indonesia. And we have also corporate APEC, MICTA next year, and so will become a chairman. Of course, during chairmanship of MICTA, we can work together with Korea. IRF, YALAC, and IPF, Indo-Pacific Economic Framework, that recently Indonesia also joined. And hopefully in this forum, South Korea and Indonesia can work together. So we have also bilateral consultation mechanisms. At the moment, we have a 2+2 between Indonesia, Korea Foreign Affairs and Defense Senior. The last bilateral consultation mechanism was last month. I also participated in that meeting. It was great, and hopefully maybe in future we can upgrade the level, because at the moment the level is only DG. Hopefully in future the level can be ministers. All right. That's a defense cooperation is also something interesting between Indonesia and South Korea. And we have a capacity building, education training. So many Indonesian soldiers and so Korean soldiers have a training exercise together. For example, like a special force classes with a special force rock army. I think a few days ago, some Indonesian special force came to Korea to do a training. And we have a military to military dialogue. And also this one is a defense industry cooperation, procurement of submarine. So we already bought 3 submarines from South Korea, and it is already on operation now. And also we work with the development of KFX, still ongoing. And then it is important thing that it's Korea one of the source of Indonesia military defense equipment. If I look at the CIPRI last year, so Indonesia and Philippines is the biggest buyers for Korean military products. Economic cooperation at the moment, we have quite a good relationship with Korea. As I mentioned before, that Korea is the 6th largest trading partner. We can see in the graph here. And also Korea is also the 8th largest export destination and 6th largest import country of origin. So the total trading last year is 18. This year from January until September already reached 19 billion, bigger than last year. And then trade cooperation, and maybe I will talk about IKCPA, that hopefully with that agreement, the trade between Indonesia and Korea can increase rapidly. Okay, several Indonesia export and import products with South Korea. So the top 10 Indonesia goods export to South Korea in 2021, still mostly is mineral fuel, so raw material. But top 10 Indonesia good import from Korea, the biggest one here is electrical machinery. So those mostly like Korean production industry. Okay, IKCPA. Why I need to discuss about this? Because Indonesia and South Korea already agreed on this agreement. The full text of this agreement was signed and sold in 18 December, 2 years ago. And then South Korea has completed the internal process ratifying IKCPA December 2021. And Indonesia already on last September. So Parliament already agreed on it, and then Indonesia endorsed through law number 25 year 2022. Hopefully, by this IKCPA will be applied soon. Mostly after the 6 months, actually 6 months after ratifying between the two countries, this agreement will be applied. So hopefully, this IKCPA will increase trade and investment. through the elimination of more than 11,000 tariff posts and around 92% of tariff posts of Indonesia products and 95 tariff posts of South Korea products. So there's a huge potential by having this agreement, especially in the trade investment, and also, of course, hopefully also will increase people-to-people contact in future. Investment. Yeah, so Korea is the 7th largest investor in Indonesia. There's a huge potential. As we know, the recent years, several Korean companies such as Hyundai, Motor, Lotte Chemical, Steel Industry, POSCO, they put huge money to do investment in Indonesia. So I believe one day Busan University for Foreign Studies can create Indonesianists in future. And of course, they can work in those Korean companies operating in Indonesia. And then the 5 sectors of current investment is transportation vehicles, footwear, and leather, electricity, water and gas trade, and mining. So this is the trend of country by origin of investment during 2019-2021. In 2019, Korea is number 7. But in 2020, Korea number 6. And 2020 last year, Korea number 7 again. We in embassy, we have a goal to have Korea in the number 5 soon. So hopefully we see from the data during first semester of this year, between so January until July, isn't it? First semester. The investment of Korea amounts 9 millions already, 9,000 millions, and at the moment it's number 5 this year. So hopefully until the end of this year, the numbers will increase, and hopefully Korea will be the fifth biggest investment in Indonesia. All right. I would like to, actually, I don't want to talk about challenges between in political cooperation, because at the moment I would say that in the political cooperation between Indonesia and Korea is in a good shape now. So I will talk more about economic challenges in this way. So trade challenges and prospect and challenges. I think there's many rooms of cooperation, especially to increase trade between Indonesia and Korea, because the 2 countries have a huge potential that we can explore. And as I mentioned before, that Indonesia is Korea's number 5 trading partner under Vietnam, Singapore, Philippines, and Malaysia. If we look at the graph here, I put a yellow line here. The trade volume between Korea and ASEAN last year is 179 billion. But if we look at the graph here, the majority, the trade is between Korea and Vietnam. And as we see in the Indonesia here, this is number from the Korea side, which is from Indonesia sources. The trade is only 18. This one is 19. So on Indonesia is approximately about 11% of the trading between Korea and ASEAN. And so even with Malaysia is 12%, and Singapore 14%, Thailand 9%. So Indonesia compared to Malaysia and then Philippines and Singapore, we are behind them. So with that great potential between Indonesia and Korea, we're hoping that in future the trade between Indonesia and Korea can be higher, even can be higher than those 3 countries. So And also, if you look at the data, the trade between Indonesia and Korea in the last 3 years has been unequal. Indonesia experienced trade deficit with Korea, but we're hoping that soon we have no trade deficit with Korea. And then also non-tariff barriers. I think we need to work on that one. Even we have IKCEPA, but if there is a trend of non-tariff barriers, that will affect our trade between Indonesia and Korea. So investment, yes, Korea investment in Indonesia is good, but need to be increased. Until 2021, Vietnam still become Korea's largest investment destination in Southeast Asia. If we look at the graph here, the top graph here, so the Vietnam in 2021, so the investment is 4.5 billion. So Indonesia only 1.05 billion. So compared to Vietnam, Indonesia is still left behind in terms of Korean investment in ASEAN countries. So if we look at the graph here, the number of Korean enterprise in ASEAN members last year. So let's say, if you look at the Vietnam here, it's about 7,791 enterprises of Korean enterprises operating in Vietnam. And in Indonesia, only 2,398. So compared to Vietnam, we are still far. So we're hoping that more Korean enterprises will come to Indonesia and do business in Indonesia soon. Okay, people-to-people contact. People-to-people contact is very crucial to enhance bilateral relationship, especially trade and investment. South Korean Ministry of Education said Indonesian students in Korea are relatively small compared to Vietnam, even with other countries. At the moment, we have about 40,000 Indonesians who are living in Korea at the moment. But mostly they are migrant workers. So if I say the migrant workers is about 35,000. So that's the majority. Indonesia is still ranked the 6th of sending migrant workers among 16 sending countries based on the EPS scheme through G2G. Among ASEAN members, Indonesia is ranked 5 of sending migrant workers in Korea. So again, even in ASEAN member countries, Indonesia is still number 5. Look at this one, based on the graph here, ASEAN student in Korea as of December last year. So Indonesia only 2. So most in total there are 72,000 students from ASEAN countries who study in Korea, but Indonesia only 2.4%. The majority are from Vietnam. It's about 91%. So it's huge. Even when I met with the Cambodia ambassador a few months ago, even the Cambodian who are living in Korea is about 50,000. So Indonesia 40,000. So even with Cambodia, we are less than them. All right, there's several graphs that I would like to discuss. So again, people-to-people contact, I think is very crucial, and I expect that more student exchanges, more like so the role of universities like Busan University for Foreign Studies is very critical, I think, to create more awareness, to create more Korean who know about Indonesia, ASEAN, and if you look at the graph here, Korean visitor in ASEAN in 2019 until 2020. So mostly most Korean visit to Vietnam. It's about 4,291, and Indonesia only less than Philippines, even with Thailand. So, but on the other hand, ASEAN visited to Korea in that period. So Indonesia only 62.14%. In 2021, Indonesia ASEAN visitors to Korea is 41.70%. And the last graph here, ASEAN national in Korea as of December 2021, Vietnam, Thailand, even Philippines and Cambodia is bigger than Indonesians were living in Korea. So imagine, I mean, Indonesia populations, but at the moment is 270 million. It's huge. But if we look at the percentage of Indonesians who are coming to visit Korea, who are coming to work in Korea, who are coming to study in Korea, less than several ASEAN member countries. So this is it is challenging, and of course it is potential, because at the moment Indonesia and South Korea, the relationship is on the good shape. And so that's why we need to increase people-to-people contact to also to develop the cooperation in trade and investment. I think thank you so much for this, and I will be happy to answer several questions about this. Thank you. Should I stay here or?
You can just moderate.
Right.
Mungkin juga ada 120 orang.
Yes.
Zoom ada 120 orang.
Okay. How to do it? I don't know. And also, while I'm waiting the question, it is interesting also. A few weeks ago, I met with a journalist in Korea, and we talk about misperception of Korea and Indonesia. It's quite interesting. Then we have discussion about that in a forum in Korea. So at least 3 or 4 misconceptions of Korea and Indonesia. First is most Korean think that Indonesia is an Islam country. We are not. We have many religions live in Indonesia. Hindus, for example, in Bali, Christian. So the perception is they think that Indonesia is a Muslim country. The second one, Indonesia is a poor country. Yes, of course, we have people who are living in poverty, but among 260 or 270 million of our population, we have also a huge middle, what we call it, middle class. If I'm not mistaken, last year our middle class is more than 60 million. So compared to South Korea, well, it's equal. And the third misperception of many Korean, Indonesia is a dictator country. Yeah, in fact, that Indonesia is the third biggest democratic country in the world, beside India and the United States. And then the last one is quite funny thing. Most Koreans think that Indonesia is part of Bali. Oh. Yeah, so yeah, I understood, because when I meet with my colleagues, Korean friends in here, mostly they went to Bali, and then they have honeymoon in Bali. So they thought that Indonesia is part of Bali. This is funny, but this is a perception that we need to inform the real information. Right. Thank you. I will be happy if you have several questions about Indonesia and South Korea cooperation, please. Today we have 121 participants in this event. It's quite big. Yeah, I think while waiting the question from the participant online, maybe I can have a question from this in this room.
I'd like to,
Yes.
while we're waiting for the questions from our participant from online, I'd like to make one question about your misconception about Indonesia by Koreans. Well, the main reason is the Koreans not knowledgeable about Indonesia, and I think it is probably that is one of our fault or our lack of education about Indonesia and Korea. But also, I'd like to ask the Indonesian also you give more effort to promote Indonesia and make Korea known about Indonesia. So that is my opinion about your misperceptions. Why Koreans say that Indonesia is a part of Bali, because one of the very famous drama in Korea, it was showing a couple of years ago. The title was Something Happened in Bali.
Yes, something happened. You're right. Yeah.
So that is why Koreans very well know about the Bali, but Indonesia is not very much familiar. Okay, that is it. And my question is, I think the Indonesia is a very important country among ASEAN members. We are the only one country belong to G20 countries. And also, the Korea is, we have our own problems about North Korea issues. And we expect from ASEAN countries to involve or mediate the issues in North and South Korean issues. So regarding this Korean Peninsula issues, what is Indonesia's position? Where you have any intention to constructively engage in our this is a political security issues in Korea, and that is one of the biggest our diplomatic concern toward the ASEAN. How you can constructively involve in our Korean security issues. Vice versa, what is your expectation from Korea to constructively engage in your South China Sea dispute with China? And so I'd like to have your opinion about these security issues from this both side.
Right. Thank you. It's a very interesting question and also a hard question. Right. First, it's about misconception. I think it is our job. I think Indonesia has a job also to promote Indonesia in Korean, but also Korean government and also society has a job also to promote Korean to Indonesia. But I see that there is a progress. Oh my God! I'm working in the embassy here. Many Indonesian delegations keep coming to Seoul to make us busy, but which is good because that's why we are here, and we need to increase this, and so that's why there will be mutual understanding between Indonesia and South Korea. Not only K-pop, not only but also education. So our students in Korea this year is approximately 2,000. Still a small number. So that's why we promote to our capital that we need to send more students and provide scholarship for Indonesian students to study in Korea. And regarding on your questions about Korean Peninsula, it is our national interest also actually to have a peaceful and prosperous in the region, especially in a South Korean Peninsula, because again we have a huge interest with the South Korea and trade and investment, and also our migrant workers. So we're hoping because next year Indonesia will become a chairman of ASEAN, and then if I'm not mistaken, so we will have our chairmanship under the theme of ASEAN Matters, epicentrum of growth. This is our theme of our chairmanship of ASEAN next year. And then with this theme, there are several things that we need to work on. First is food security, energy security, including green energy, health cooperation, and financial stabilization. And of course, in ASEAN, we always put the agenda on peace full declaration on Korean Peninsula. And it is a bit worrying. Also, if you look at the current development with the massive missile launching of North Korea, and hopefully ASEAN can play a role, especially under Indonesia's chairmanship next year, to create this better political stability in this region. Regarding on your question on what Korea can play a role in South China Sea, it is a tough question actually. Yes, we have a national interest also that there will be peaceful, no conflict in the region. Because again, if we imagine if there's a conflict in the region, if we see the map, so South Sea and connect to Malacca Strait, this is the very important road of trade. If that something happen in this region, of course it will bring negative impacts, not only for political security but also for trade investment and also for the people. So of course, in ASEAN we have a ASEAN outlook on Indo-Pacific, and Korea also recently released a Korea strategy of Indo-Pacific. I think there's a rooms of cooperation with this ASEAN outlook on Indo-Pacific and also Korean strategy on Indo-Pacific, I think. But let us in the capital to think about that. All right, thank you. All right. So let me check the chat here. Yes.
Yes. Okay. Mr. Sigit, I want to ask you some questions about the recent. I can say the recent trend investment in Indonesia from Korea. As we know, Hyundai is the one of our investors from Korea that start to produce electric vehicle. I think
Unique 5, right?
Unique 5.
Unique 5, yeah.
And yeah, I mean, from your data, we can see that the difference between Indonesian and South Korea trade. I think Indonesia is big in mineral, I think, and also maybe some of commodity. In the other hand, Korea, based on IT and also electric and also high technology. So how to make sure that Indonesia in the future, I mean, we also can follow the strategy. I mean, follow Korea for South Korea to make sure that our income per capita, I think, still below from South Korea.
Yes, if you look at the data that mostly Indonesia sell raw materials, I think that's a quite big number, I think. And mostly Korea sell a high-tech technology. So it is challenge, but also it's opportunity because at the moment we attract more foreign investment, especially in high-tech electrical vehicles, postcode. I think those can be a good strategy to for us to create a job, but also transfer of technology. And it's good to know, for example, like Hyundai, they already operate and they already produce a car, Ioniq 5. It is interesting that if we want to buy the car, we have to wait several years, if I'm not mistaken. So it means there's a huge potential. As we know that Indonesia is one of the biggest reserve of nickel. And the Korean company already know about that one. So that's why not only for Korean company, but also many foreign companies want to have investment of nickel and then bauxite, those raw material, which is so important in that technology. And also, it is also good news. For example, Korea not only focus on investment on technology, but also they want to join with investment in infrastructure. For example, if you read the news that Incheon they cooperate with the Hang Nadim to establish airport in Batam. This is good because by having several investment in Indonesia in production, I think Korea need to think about trade, logistic, infrastructure, and future. And it also good also to know that Busan Airport Authority they conduct a feasibility study at the moment to cooperation in several ports in Indonesia. Hopefully that this will happen soon. So that's why the connection between Indonesia and Korea not only about the trade investment, but also the infrastructure. I think Busan, one of the good example, if one, for example, Busan Authority, Busan Seaport Authority can cooperate with a port in Indonesia. So the connection will be good, especially for trade logistics.
I sent one question from a student. Oh, right.
Right. Okay. We have covered the ties between Indonesia and Korea in a field of economic trade investment. But would you elaborate more about Indonesia's effort and approach to capitalize more ties in cultural aspect between the two? For example, Korean culture, beauty products, culinary, and K-pop has been received so well in Indonesia market. So what kind of development the government would do to more into this aspect? Second, culture also includes education besides scholarship and student exchange program. Does this Indonesia government has more plan to flourish this field? Again, as I mentioned before, that people-to-people contact is very strategic at the moment. And even yesterday, I met with Korean scholars. I think we need to develop awareness of Korean, not only students, but society, the importance of ASEAN, and also important country, including Indonesia. So about this question, the thought and approach to capitalize more ties in cultural aspect between the two. Yes, it is very important. And when I serve in our embassy here, I know that several sister cities between Indonesia, for example, between Seoul and Jakarta, and then Daegu with Central Java, if I'm not mistaken, Jogja or Solo. I think those things, we need to increase in future. And because, for example, like that, the event, the coach of football coach Shin Tae-yong.
Yeah.
Okay. He's very popular in Indonesia, and a few months ago, Shin Tae-yong brought young Indonesia players to play in Daegu, and we have an event that one. So this is very simple. This is simple, but it's very effective to bring awareness to develop understanding between Korea and Indonesia. For example, several places in Daegu province, they have a sister city with the Solo, for example. They send students, and then Indonesia also send students to South Korea. I think those things is very important. Even if I'm not mistaken, Daegu province, they have branch in Jakarta. I forget the name, but by having a branch in Jakarta, they can introduce Korean culture, including Korean products like a cosmetic, something like that. So again, this is very important. So the second one. So what kind of developments the government would do to tap more into the aspect? Cultures also include education besides scholarship and student exchange program. Does the Indonesia government has more plan to flourish this field? Yes, of course. So we need to increase the numbers of students, not only Indian student, but also Korean student. I think there are programs, for example, because I know that some Korean staff working in our embassy, they did a short program in Yogyakarta, especially in UGM, to study Bahasa Indonesia. This is good, I think. We need to increase more. And even I found several Korean who can speak English very well. Even I met several Korean who lose their nationality, they become Indonesian citizen, and it is interesting to know about that. And so, meaning that those aspects is very important. Simple thing, but the impact is huge, especially if you can increase the numbers. And besides scholarship, yes, student exchange, yes, and also culinary also is very important. Korean culinary is very famous in Indonesia. At the moment, we have several Indonesian restaurants in Seoul. I think there's also in Busan, I think. So in our embassy, we also promote this culinary to introduce not only Korean food to Indonesia, but also Indonesian food to Korea. I think several Indonesian foods quite popular in Korea, for example, like bakso, nasi goreng, and rendang, something like that. I think it's not difficult to find Indonesian restaurant in Seoul. We're lucky. So our Indonesian migrant workers who are working in South Korea now, it is also potential market for culinary industry, because I several times I visited Indonesian restaurant in Seoul, for example. I saw many Indonesian migrant workers came and enjoy the food. So, all right, thank you. Is there any question?
말하는 사람을 화면에 띄우는 거.
아무도
Yeah, while waiting, I think a language is also
말하는 사람을 화면에 띄우는 거.
language is also important because Indonesia, many Indonesia who study in Korea here, they know, of course, they need to study language. They need to study a Korean language, which is it's not easy, but it is manageable. So, but again, by having several K-pop drama, musics, even Indonesia students, they can understand, they can speak Korean by watching the movie. So if I'm not mistaken, there's a Korea language center in UGM. I think we need to improve. We need to increase the numbers, not only in I don't know whether there is a Korean center in UI, but if we can increase the number of Korean center in Indonesia, several universities in Indonesia, that will be good. And also, we are so lucky we have a Busan University of Foreign Studies here. Hopefully, there will be many Indonesian center or Indonesian studies in several universities in Korea. These are also challenges for in academics, in educations. But if I believe that if we can do it, of course, it will increase our cooperation and collaboration in future. All right. If there is no question,
Two questions.
two questions.
And you go up.
Go up. Thank you for the explanation. Currently, the popularity of K-pop is very wide, especially among young Indonesians. For example, BTS, Blackpink, and others. So, to what extent does K-pop play a role in Korea-Indonesia relationship? It's clear. It is clear. Even many Indonesians know Korea from this music, BTS, Blackpink, and others. It's very clear. And there is a singer also joined with a group, Korean music group, Dita Karang, right? A secret number, right? Secret number. I think this is one of the good way to what we call it, to introduce Korean culture, but also Indonesian for Korean. And then I think we need to do more. So that's why through music, because the music for Korean K-pop is very popular. I think very successful. Even when I asked my family, when I told my family that we will go to Korea, and they say yes because they love K-pop. All right. The second one. Thank you so much for your explanations. Explained by me about the cooperation between South Korea and Indonesia. We just currently special strategic of partnerships starting from economic, politics, security, education, culture, and many more. Because of this, it is possible for Indonesia and Korea to be able to free people between the two countries to be able to travel without using visa. Because as we know that for some people getting visa is quite difficult and takes a lot of time. So it is possible or not the visa between country if you want to visit in future to more visa. So it's possible not using visa between countries if you want to visit in future to more elaborate exchange the cultural language extra. Thank you. Yes, I think visa is one of the challenges, I think. And we heard about that. And then our embassy already talked to the authority in Korea to make it easy for Indonesia. But again, we understood the situation. Maybe I can talk to you after this, why that happened. Of course, the immigrations authority in Korea, they have a reason why they set up such policy on this visa, for example. But again, as when we met with the Parliament of Korea, when I accompanied my ambassador to meet the Speaker of Korea, when the meeting between President Yoon and President Jokowi will also talk about this visa. We need to make it easy, so that's why the what we call it people-to-people contact between the two countries can increase in the future. Yes, visa is something we still working at the moment. That our embassy is still working on it. Hopefully, we will have a good news in the future. To elaborate exchange the cultural language, and yes, again, I think we have discussed it before, that the exchanges in cultural language is very important. So Mr. Kim, I think this is our job.
Yes.
That we have to promote. There is like an Indonesia center in this university. What's the name, Mr. Kit?
Indonesia Center.
Indonesia center. We have it, and then our embassy already worked with the team in here to set up the material, the place, and then our embassy will be happy to help to create event. It's very important. By having the Indonesia center already is good, but it is another job that we have to do is how to make it active by having a seminar like this, having event to promote the cultures between Indonesia and South Korea. This is a good job. This is a big job, but I think we can do it in future. Well, I think I already answered all the questions.
You can go down more than again.
Oh. Thank you for the great presentation, Dr. Sigit. I would like to ask, will Korea invest in a new capital city regarding Indonesia process to moving capital city from Jakarta to East Kalimantan? The answer is yes. So they already commitment. We have the detail. Our embassy have the detail of numbers, and also several companies of Korea will invest in a new capital city in Kalimantan. So I would say that I know this because I also joined with the delegation. Sejong is one of the example of a new capital city, and we did already research and observations in Sejong City. Have you been in Sejong City? Yeah, it's a good place. I've been there, and we need to learn how Korea develop a new city, Sejong City. And we already have a meeting, serious meeting with the authority of Sejong to learn and also to attract investment from Korea. And also, I remember when the president of Yoon Suk Yeol and President Jokowi meeting in Bali, this is also one of the topic of meeting discussion also. I think that's all. That
former person.
yeah.
Somebody raised hand.
Oh, right.
All raise hand, please. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sigit, for the presentation. My name is Muhammad Fuad. I'm an alumni of University of Indonesia, Islamic University of Indonesia. I would like to ask about why Indonesia is inclining toward China more. What is the role of Korea in balancing our foreign policy? Thank you.
Right. Thank you for the question. It's good also. This is a good question, but also hard question. Yes. If you look at our foreign policy, that we are free and active foreign policy. So what we do in our foreign policy is based on our national interest. This is very clear. So some people say that why Indonesia too aligned to China compared to other countries? The answer is no. We try to engage all countries for the sake of national interest. Yes, of course. At the moment, we have a good cooperation with China. If you look at the number of trade, at the moment, China is our main trading partner. And also we have if you look at the investment, also China and Hong Kong is one among the 5th biggest. So it is a fact that at the moment we have a good interest, but it doesn't mean that we are aligned to China, but we forget another countries. No. China, Korea, and Japan are Indonesia's close friend at the moment. And we enjoy very robust economic cooperation, not only in the trade, but also investment and people-to-people contact also. So I would say that we in Indonesia at the moment we try to engage all countries based on our foreign policy, free and active foreign policy, for the sake of Indonesian national interests. Yeah, thank you. I think that's all for the question that I should answer. Okay then, if if I can say that again, thank you so much for this event. I'm so happy that I can come to this event and meeting with all you guys, online or offline here. And I will be happy if you have another question, you can contact me in our embassy. So I will be serving in my embassy until 2020, so 4 years until now. So still a long way to go. And then again, the cooperation between Indonesia and South Korea is amazing at the moment. Even if I compare with my previous assignment in US in California, working load in our embassy in Seoul here is huge compared to my previous job. Many things we're doing at the moment. Economic is at the highest at the moment. Politics is already stable. But of course, we need to address several challenges. But at the moment, our priority at the moment with Korea is economic sectors. And I think this is something concrete that we need to work on. And then people-to-people contact is also very critical at the moment. So hopefully, even I still remember when the President Yoon Suk Yeol mentioned, so people-to-people exchanges is very critical. Why? Because by having cooperation in technology, in high industrial sectors, people-to-people contact, especially in education, is very critical, he said. So we need to have a good human resources, especially for Indonesian side. So that's why when Korean investment in Indonesia, especially in a high-tech technology, so Indonesia are capable to work on with the Korean, big Korean company, for example, like Hyundai, POSCO, Lotte, etc. So thank you again.
One more question.
All right. Yes. Good morning. What do you think is the most important thing to strengthen relations between the two countries, apart from entertainment, politics, trade, etc.? Also, we know in Indonesia, it's really have a huge fans of K-pop or cosmetic. Also, this is the best way to Korean promote their culture and country, but not with Indonesia. Our culture is still foreign, is still to people there. So what is your message to especially young generation of Indonesia to support and promote our cultures and country to have huge interest of people in Korea? I think one of the strategic one, I think collaboration, I guess. I can see the Dita Karang with the group of, what's the name? Secret Number. This is also a success story. And also one day, I think it is also a challenge for young generation in Indonesia to have such a collaboration with Indonesia. For example, like to collaborate between batik and hanbok, for example. I think this is some ways to promote both sides, like what we do in many countries. For example, we did like a batik in the United States, but with the style of America, for example, with the popular or Indian motif, for example, like that. I think those things that we can do in future to promote Indonesian cultures, language, and music, through music, and also another one. I think maybe one day there's already many Korean movie about Bali, what happened in Bali, right? This is one of the example also that many Koreans know Indonesia, especially Bali. But one day maybe there will be Indonesia movie made in Korea, and then it can be collaboration. That can good media for two societies to know each other. So those things we already discussed about the student exchanges. We need more students to come and also Korean students to go to Indonesia. We need also books. It is also for me because I like to read several books by Korean scholars about Indonesia. The number is still small, so hopefully that many scholars, Korean scholars, who write something, a piece of writing about Indonesia, whether in journal or in books, that can be published and can be read by many society. And I remember when before I came here, before I came to Seoul to serve in my embassy, I tried to find the books about Korea written by Indonesia. The number is so small. Those things I think we need to work on to introduce, to develop awareness and also understanding between the two countries. All right, I think I have answered this question, so that will be the last question, I think. Yes.
I think there's one more question and this will relate to you.
All right.
Are there more efforts from Korea to increase halal tourism to attract more tourists from Indonesia?
So halal tourism. Yes. So again, I met several people, business in Korea, halal products. They have interest to have cooperation with the authorities in Indonesia in halal product, for example, cosmetic, even meat, even those things. What I observed, Indonesia with 270 million is huge potential for Korean businesses, especially in that field, cosmetic, and then food, beverage, and maybe meat, I think. We already set up several meetings with the counterpart between Indonesia and Korea, and I hope that there will be the result in soon. But again, I say yes, it is on the priority for several companies in Korea and also Indonesia. All right. Then if that is the last question, I will close this. And thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you so much for having me here. And I will be happy to answer your question. If you can contact me in my embassy, I can give your lectures, Mr. Zulfikar, about my contact number. So again, thank you and have a great day.
Thank you, Dr. Sigit. And I think we finished 1 hour earlier, but it's fine. We're gonna have a longer break. So we are going to come back here at 1:30. And I think the lunch will be ready at 12. So the lunch will be ready here. So you can use the time to expand your networking or do whatever you want. And we're gonna have the lunch at 12. And for those who want to pray, the room number is 202. Right, 8202. It will be in the second floor. And the lunch will be here and we will resume at 1:30. Thank you very much. And thank you for those who have attended online. And if you want to stay more, you can stay. And if you want to leave now, you can leave. And for those who want to participate,
Photo session.
okay, we can have the photo session now. And for those who want to join the entire ISPE, please stay in the Zoom link. The link will be same, so you can just log in anytime you want. Thank you. Okay.